How worried are you about inflation?
I haven't written about inflation for 20 years. When I did quarterly letters, I never featured inflation. I didn't think it was on the radar screen. It is now on the radar screen once again. It's not that inflation will go roaring back to 1972 or 1982. It's that it will always be part of the discussion from now on, in my opinion. Instead of forgetting about it, it will be spiking and irritating and falling back and then spiking again. It will be part of the scenery in the way it used to be in the second half of the 20th century. There's a lot about this economy, I think, that will be dragged back into the late 20th century. We've had a very, very abnormal honeymoon Goldilocks period for 20 years, which I think is ending. Let me put it this way. We're in the early stages of running out of raw materials. Of course, we live on a finite planet. There's only a certain amount of cheap oil, cheap nickel, cheap copper, and we're beginning to hit some of those boundaries. And we're going to have bottlenecks here, there, and everywhere. The food price index of the UN is about as high as it gets. Growing food is not getting easier. Climate change is coming with heavy floods, serious droughts, and higher temperatures. None of these make farming easier. So we're going to live in a world of bottlenecks and shortages and price spikes, and we have to get used to it and learn to manage our way around it.
The Federal Reserve is confident that it can contain inflation with a series of incremental rate hikes. What do you think it'll take?
I think the Fed absolutely does not get the pain that's involved with a bubble breaking. You can see that in the history of the last 50 years. Greenspan encouraged the tech bubble. He bragged about the productivity gains from the internet that would last forever. Actually, productivity has declined slowly but surely since then. When it broke, it caused a lot of pain. Bernanke learned nothing. He encouraged the housing bubble. He denied its existence, even though it was a 3 sigma, 1 in a 100-year event that had never occurred in American history before. And what have we learned? We just went straight back into the game, overstimulating, pushing the rates down, down and down they have gone for 50 years. So they started at 16% on the long bond, and now the real return you would get is -2.
You've been a longtime critic of Alan Greenspan.
That's true.
You're a critic of Ben Bernanke, and I suppose by extension, Janet Yellen too. Do you have any confidence in the current chairman, Jay Powell?
No. No, he hasn't expressed any reservations about the Greenspan, Bernanke, Yellen, Powell policy of pushing rates down.